Hello everyone, this is Nick with WXPR Radio. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at customizing the layout and toolbars in Audacity. The default layout of Audacity is pretty good. There's a couple of things that I like to do to make working on my projects a little easier. The default metering scale for Audacity is -60 dB. For what I'm doing on the radio, anything above -40 is really all I'm looking at. So if we go up to Edit, Preferences, and then under Interface, the meter dB range is by default -60 dB. I like to change that to -48. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. We can now see that our recording and our playback meters, their lowest value is -48 decibels. Towards the left of each of these toolbars, there's a vertical rectangle with horizontal lines in it. This is where you can grab each toolbar to move it. So if I left click and hold on that left side, I can then move my toolbar around, and I can drop it right in the middle of the screen if that's where I wanted it. Audacity can dock toolbars, so if I bring it back up here, you can see a black arrow jumping around. In this case, it's pointing towards the right side of my zoom tools, and if I let go, it will dock to that area. I like to keep my recording and playback meters towards the bottom. So if I bring it towards the middle of the screen, a black down arrow will appear, and that says it's going to move it to a new line. So if I let go, there it is. I can also bring my playback meter down there, and there it is. At this point on the right side of the toolbar is a resize line, vertical line. So if I hover over that, there will be a left and right arrow. I'll left click hold and I can drag it out. Left click hold my right side and I can drag that. Okay, let's take a quick look at the monitoring. So we now have -48 range and our recording meters are a bit bigger. If we want it even a bit larger than that, we can move the playback down and resize our recording to be quite a bit bigger, and we have an increment of 1 decibel for each of these ticks. Alternatively, we can have a vertical meter if we undock this, and then on the right side towards the bottom we can resize the toolbar. But we have to be careful because if that toolbar touches anywhere in the docked area, it's going to want to try and grab it. So we have to make our windows smaller, bring it to the right, and then make it bigger. And this is a very, very big meter, which could be nice. So here we have a very wide bar for a meter, very, very visible. Now by default there is the gradient option for the meter checked, and the other option is available if we right click the microphone or the playback icon, hit options, and we can then change the meter style to RMS or root mean square or the average level. Now we see our bar is one main color, which is red. There's still our floating peak line. There's our base lighter red, that is audio. And then we have our average level, which is this darker audio. To me, this is actually a little bit easier to see than the different colors because that floating line is really obvious. I can see where my peaks are, but with a gradient, sometimes it's a little hard for me to see when it's yellow or orange until it gets red. Let's go ahead and redock this because on my laptop That's a little too big for my screen. You might need to bring the width of the toolbar back down to get them to work with each other well. If you find you're not using a toolbar, like this playback speed toolbar, you can go to View, Toolbars, and then uncheck it. Now that's gone. We can also gain back a little bit of space by moving our audio device toolbar up a level. Play around with the layout and see what works for you. The most important thing for me is to have bigger metering so I have a better view of my levels.